You're watching the Maryland Players Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen. My guest today was born in Durham, North Carolina. High school parade All-American in 1972. Second team All-American in 1974 at University of Maryland. Three-time first team All-ACC. Three-time All-ACC tournament team. Two-time consensus first team All-American. Career averages at University of Maryland of 18.3 points and 4.7 assists. Total of 2,015 points, which is good for number 6 all time. 514 assists, which is good for number 5 all time. Shot 53% from the field as a point guard. Awesome. In 1974, a part of the FIBA World Championship team. ACC Athlete of the Year in 1976. McKelvin Award winner, the conference top all-around athlete as well. Singles tennis championships in 1974 and 1976. So don't think it's just constrained to basketball. He's nice on that tennis court as well. Wow. Number 1 pick in the 1976 NBA draft. NBA All-Rookie First Team in 1977. A 15-year NBA career with the Rockets, Warriors, Bullets. For you young bucks, that's the Wizards. Spurs, 76ers, and the Cavs. In the NBA, he scored 9,951 points, dished out 6,454 assists, and also had 1,273 steals. Was a head coach of a USBL championship team, head coach for the Spurs and 76ers and the Cavs, an assistant coach with the Nuggets and Clippers, and now currently with the Houston Rockets. The great John Lucas, man. Oh my goodness, welcome to the show, my man.
Walt, how you doing? I see you went and Googled me, huh? Yeah. Go back and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what still makes me mad about those numbers?
What's that?
So for 7 preseason games when I played my senior year, I averaged 50 points.
Wow.
Scrimmage. And Coach Rizal, who was our coach at the time, said we couldn't win with me scoring like that. Right. So I had to move the basketball. And I broke my collarbone the first game, and I had 34 in the first half.
Wow.
And I broke my collarbone. I had to miss the next 9 games. We won all 9. And then we ended up at that time, we were being considered like UCLA of the East because the UCLA Bruins had won all those titles. So we played them, and that was our first loss at Cole Fieldhouse in like 2 years. So, well, David Thompson in North Carolina State, but it's good to see you. I see you got all your Maryland stuff up behind you.
Yeah, this is my Maryland room right here, man.
So all I want to know is, am I ahead of Walt Williams on the assist list?
Absolutely, bro.
How you doing, Walt?
I am good, man. I am good. It is such a pleasure to have you on the show. And let's stay where you are right there. You played with 2 very good big men coming into the University of Maryland with Lynn Elmore and Tom McMillan. But yet you came right in, putting in work right out the gate. You had a lot of confidence. Your confidence pretty high, huh?
Well, one of the things, it was the first year freshmen could play varsity basketball. And that was the beginning of the NC2A changing the rules. Our teams went from a 32-team to a 69-team tournament team. But that year I came in, we were freshmen. I was a freshman. That team was already built. Howard White had to have surgery, who ended up being the coach. And then Mo Howard and myself came in. And it was a junior senior team. So all I had to do was stay out the way and fit in and be a point guard with them. And we got to the finals in Providence with Marvin Barnes and Ernie DiBegorio beat us in the Eastern Conference Finals of the NC2AA that year. And that year, UCLA went on to beat and win it. And Bill Walton went 21 for 22. from the field that year.
Wow.
So I remember, but yeah, we had shooting, we had size, we had everything I needed. And as a freshman, you know, coming out of high school basketball, I wasn't used to playing with that kind of size. So the first play of my first college game, I got beat going down the middle. And Lenny Elmore, I'll never forget this, went up and caught the guy's shot. And it was so much help on defense, you know, because your defense is, you know, as a former player, you know, that's the hardest part to learn.
Yeah.
So the defense, so he caught that ball, I was off and running in. I knew I had a lot of help. So we had McMillan, Elmore, O'Brien, a guy named Bob Bodell. And we had a really, really good team that year. And the recruiting that we've done had been really good. So it was really good. But there were some other good freshmen in the country that also played well that year.
So how did you get interested in tennis? Where did that come from? Was that early on, or how did that develop?
Well, when I was a young kid, when I got out of high school, I got out of elementary school, my parents wouldn't let me go home. So my dad was the principal of the high school right up the street from my elementary school. So I would go to the gym and wait for him to finish school. So I happened to have a coach who was the varsity coach, who happened to be the basketball coach, taught me a set shot. And then he happened to be the tennis coach in the spring, and he taught me tennis.
Right.
And so I always tell people, coaching is a mentorship all the way through life. And so I've been giving back from what Coach Thieselin taught me with all my player development, all my grassroots stuff. It's because somebody gave me a future and gave me a shot, taught me tennis, and created a livelihood for me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You've been involved with the development of men on and off the basketball court for a long time. It's legendary what you've been doing. So that's great to hear that the source of your inspiration and why you give back to such degree. Let me ask you this. So you're from North Carolina. Why did you choose University of Maryland, especially, you know, all of those ACC schools right there in your backyard?
Well, you know, Duke at the time, when I came out of school, it was very few blacks in the ACC. We were coming up, beginning to be more involved. But Duke, I was very afraid of academically. And that was in my hometown. I knew I was going to have, and I thought I could handle the grades. I wanted to be a business major there. And then I'd always heard about Duke being at home and how tough it was academic. Dean Smith wasn't going to allow me to play both sports. I only had to pick one sport. UCLA was the other school that I was considering, and they would only let me choose one sport. Now I ended up going with Coach Rizzo because our athletic director in our school told Coach Rizzo they went to school at Duke together.
Right, okay.
Lefty never saw me play.
Oh, wow.
He never saw me play a game until my all-star game that summer after I finished summer school at Maryland. And it was against a guy, you may remember this guy named Walter Davis.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I had 48 points in our game, and Walter went to prep school before he went to Carolina. And I was there, and that was Coach's first time watching me play. So Coach never saw me play. I just loved the way he was. You know, the most important thing for a player is relationship. And if you feel like your coach believes in you, and Coach came in my house, went right to the refrigerator, got a soda, sat down, made himself comfortable. And I said, well, what about freshmen starting with the freshman? He said, well, hell, son, if you're good enough, you'll play. That's all I needed to know. I didn't have any other restraints on me, like you can't play tennis, you can't do this. And I was, you know, and I liked because I lived in North Carolina. And at that time, Coach Giselle put the first black player in the South, which was a guy named Mike Malloy at Davidson. And then the next year, Charlie Scott went to North Carolina, UNC. And so, Coach, I knew of his history. I knew of his fairness. And I just loved his style and the way he could recruit.
Right. So, I mean, your history speaks for itself. You know, what, in your opinion, what does it take to be a great point guard?
Well, first of all, the point guard should be an extension of the coach. And point guards are not made. You played there, they're born. it's an innate gift to have a feel time of a game. Know who isn't scoring, know who's scoring, and to know all the rules, know the flow, and know the heartbeat of the other guys on your team. Whenever you have a good point guard, you have a game plan. If you don't have a good point guard, you don't have a good. If you notice, all the teams in the NBA or in college, they've got some semblance of a pretty good point guard. Now they got this term combo guards, and people have tried to make the point guard spot the most athletic spot. It's pretty athletic now in the pros with me about point guards. They can run, they can jump, they can score, they can do other. But a point guard has to be I call him like he has to have a gun with 6 bullets. He's got to get me 12 to 13 points, 6 to 8 assists, 2 or 3 steals, and get my team to the foul line so everybody can succeed and get better by the penalties that they put on. Because if he gets us in the penalty, penetrate, drawing kick, get our rebounding, then everybody succeeds because we're shooting foul shots.
Right. Yep. Hey, listen, just in case they don't think you know what you're talking about, what does it feel like to be the number 1 pick, man, overall? Is that extra added pressure? You know, it's already the pressure of going from one level to the next, but being number 1, you know, what was that feeling like?
You know, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. So James Harden was like the 4th pick, 5th pick in the draft. And so Russell Westbrook was like 4th or 5th pick in the draft. So whenever I want to be able to really connect with them and get on their ass, I'll say to him, James, what pick were you? Like, Russ, what pick were you? I went number 1. When they called your name, I was asleep back at the hotel and gone to bed. So shut up and listen. So, you know, they go crazy. There's only 75 first round picks. And I was the first guard taking 1. So I always tease them. I said, you know, you guys, you know, you talk that Magic was 6'9", but I said the first guard. Because if you build a team, Walt, and you start with 2 positions. You got to have a center. And you got to have a point guard. I don't know which one comes first, but you got to have one of the 2. And my biggest thing when I was at Maryland, we went out and got Moses my senior year. And so we thought with Howard, myself, Tom Roy, and other guys who were on our team, adding Moses would really help us because of the rebounding and the length behind us. Yeah. Well, he ended up going to the pros, but not many people remember that Moses was at Maryland for 1 day.
Wow. Man, I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh man, that would have been
in the dorm. And then because of my tennis and Arthur Ashe, I took him down there to the guys that helped me, and Donald Dale, David Falk, and he ended up going with the Utah Stars. So when we talk about how the history of Maryland plays out, yeah, Moses was a guy that would have been there, but we just never got him. He was on campus for the summer.
Yeah. You know, speaking of the history of Maryland, you know, what is your thoughts on where they are currently?
I think there's a big transition going on. I think that one of the things that has gotten lost from a basketball standpoint has been the rivalries that were used to be with Maryland, Duke, Carolina, Georgetown. And by going to the Big Ten, I understand for the financial reason, they've got to be able to create those same kind of rivalries again and to find somebody that helps pole vault them. And, you know, they've got to be able to get the DMV. They've got to get that area of kids back to Maryland to come play. I see where Duke has a lot of Maryland kids, other people have, and that Maryland with the arena and what Gary has done. And every 10 years after you win a championship or so, it goes down because now you become the target of everybody's recruiting. So now Maryland now can be that people who used to be against their recruiting, target them to try to help get them back to where they need to be. And, you know, basketball, I think when I look at Maryland play right now, the pace of the game has got to be different. It's got to be a pace to the game and a style that brings people out. People like, even on our level, we have to say athleticism, pace, layups, threes. You know, and with the analytics of basketball now, it's really, really important that you be able to blend all three in, as well as to build a good basketball community that is a cohesive group from around your area, and then go outside the state or find those one guys that are superstars that can come in and blend, who want to be a part of your school. And that's what I think is the model for recruiting.
Awesome, awesome. So my last question to you, Luke, you know, all of my viewers, they want to know, can you tell us something about yourself that most do not know?
That's a great question. Yeah. I am learning more and more about myself the older I get. So I have become this enigma wrapped up that I'm still on a journey to find me, Walt.
Yeah.
So if you ask me today who I am, I can answer that today.
Yeah.
You ask me a week from now who I am, I'm a completely different person. So when you ask that question, it's like, I'm still on that journey to find out who I am, because I am a chameleon of different people, still searching to find myself. And that's what people don't know about me. Everybody thinks that basketball is what I do. It's not who I am. You know, a father, a husband, and two kids who coach in basketball, that's a mentorship. It's not who I am. Yeah. A recovering alcoholic for 36 years, that's who I am, who by the grace of God gets another day. And so a lot of people don't know those things about me, but I think that plus continuing to know who I am. Like I tell you, I am who I am today. I'm somebody else different a week ago, and I'm not the same person I was last week. Yes. And by the way, since I answered your last question, I see Marlon Pride. I see Iceman. He didn't go to Marlon. I see.
I just give the props, man. When I used to go out on the basketball.
Where's your Houston Rockets stuff? I don't see none of that up there. You know, you were here for a minute, you know.
Yeah, man. You know, when I used
to. Wait a minute. I had to tell you because I know I was coming on. You, Terrence Morris.
Yeah, yeah.
Stevie Franchise.
Massenburg.
Yeah, Massenburg. So we got a big history down here in Houston of being with the Terps out. So that's been good.
Absolutely. You know, when I used to go out on the blacktop and play pickup games, we used to pretend to be, you know, different guys out there on the basketball court. And these two guys who I used to pretend, you know, I'm the Iceman, I'm biased. You know? So, you know, that's why I got these dudes up on my wall, because they meant a lot to my career. I tell you what, but
you got two good ones. Ice, when I coached the Spurs, he was the first hire I made, because I knew exactly from what you were saying that Ice would bring a lot of credibility to the guys that want to listen because of what he did. And, you know, Lenny's mother, and when I was going through, I had just come out of all of the things I was going through when they were beginning to go through those things. So we all seem to evolve as we've come a long ways. But those are two pretty good, along with yourself. It's not a bad group.
Hey, I tell you something. It's an autograph if you can see it on there. So when Ice was coaching with you, this is when I got this autograph. Really? So after our shoot around, you guys came in afterwards, and I waited around until you guys finished. And I waited for a minute because you and Ice would play 2-on-2 against players, man. And I was like, oh my goodness, y'all was still out there killing dudes, man. So I was very impressed by that. But yeah, you guys were coaching.
So Ice made the top 75 too.
Yeah.
He and I played together, so he was unbelievable, man. There's one thing he always used to tell, one thing the Iceman can do, he can finger roll. You remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Luke, man, thank you so much for joining us today, man. It is such a pleasure. I mean, I cannot even tell you, man. I've been talking to my wife all last night and this morning saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to have Luke on the interviewing Luke today. And so such a pleasure, man. Thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it so much, brother.
Thank you, Walt. I mean, I am great to see the man you've developed into. Keep going.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic in team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre and post production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.